Are we supposed to put our glasses
Let
on?
me see if I can bring it up.
Do I look smarter?
Oh, I like your glasses. Yeah. Oops. Sound. Oh, there we go. Exclamation point, good morning. Good morning, Jonathan.
This is 2 days in a row.
Yeah, early. This is horrible. Tomorrow, like, is my day off. I'm going to sleep until 2 p.m.
I doubt that.
Hey, guess what I've been reading?
I can't guess. Why don't you tell us? No, you haven't. Wow.
There's 3 things that you can't hide for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Buddha.
Buddha.
You got a lot of really good quotes in there.
That author worked hard on that book. Yes, you are correct, Jonathan. I can't see squat without my glasses.
Is he talking to me?
I don't know.
I'm a playboy.
When I put them on, but then I got the other issue of the bifocals and anyway, we don't care. I'm not here to talk about my eyesight. So you're not working today, Jareth?
Yeah, at noon.
Oh. Boy, I've had some crazy jobs. I like being self-employed now. Because the boss is much better. Don't you like being...
Speaking of work, look what I dug out of the trash.
Out of the trash?
Well, my storage.
Oh.
Tony Stewart. Who remembers Tony Stewart? This is a Tony Stewart Homer doll.
I don't know.
Beanie Baby. It's not a doll. It's a Beanie Baby. I'm too old to play with dolls.
You are crazy.
Jonathan says he pays attention. Man, I can't afford to pay attention.
Self-employed. I hate my boss. Oh, Jonathan,
my take-home pay wouldn't even take me home.
Oh, I've had some doozy bosses. Man, when I worked at the post office, that was in a previous life when I was a female man. I remember I was on probation. They gave us mace, which was supposed to be like, keep the dogs away. I was on a route one time, and what was it, a chicken? No, it was a turkey. Big old turkey came out from around the house. And it was in Grand Rapids. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, they didn't teach us this in orientation. And the darn bird pecked the heck out of my shins. I mean, I was bloody.
Did you mace it?
Well, yeah, I tried, but it was too stupid. It was like, so, brand new.
Do you have the...
Do I what?
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead, sorry.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Jonathan was talking about bosses and bad bosses. And so I got back. I had to just keep going because I'm thinking, crap, I was 20 something. So I thought for sure I was going to be fired. So I ran the rest of my route, came in, looked like bloody massacre. So here I'm thinking, well, they're going to let me have some time off with pay or something, right? That's a good government job. No. They wrote me up and accused me of foul play. Yes, they did. Should I keep my day job? Okay, now this is payback for when I don't laugh at you, isn't it?
I was going to ask, do you have a turkey issue in Michigan? Do you have an overpopulation? Foul play, Jonathan says. Yes, foul play. Do you have a lot of foul? It's a problem in Maine or all in New England, I think. I think it's because of the imaginary climate change that we don't actually have, I think, is increasing the turkey population. Plus, people killing all the coyotes. They don't have any natural predators. It's a real problem. I mean, you'd be driving down the highway, and all of a sudden there's 15 turkeys that are like 50, 80 pounds a piece. Some of them suckers get really big. It's like hitting a deer. You don't want to just drive into them. What drives me crazy is people on the road will come to a complete stop and wait for the turkeys to move. Not me. I just put the pedal to the metal. I blast the air horn, and when they see me coming, they move. But if you stop, they just give you a dirty look and move out of the road slowly. It's like you got to toot the horn and keep coming at them. They will to get them to move.
How are people going to know that, though? I mean, isn't it nature would tell you, do you stop and wait?
I don't know. See, you're the opposite of me. I look at it like common sense would tell you that if a great, big, huge object was flying at you at a high rate of fuel consumption, you would just move. But that's me. That's me. 2 million miles on the road. You learn these things. Like you don't do that to a deer because a deer may or may not move.
We don't have. I mean, we have a lot of turkey farms that they, for eating purposes. But we have a lot of Canada goose. And it's not Canadian goose, it's Canada goose.
Yes, I know.
But a lot of people don't know that. I know you knew because you're smart. You're smart.
Yeah, Baba.
Hiya, Baba.
Yeah, I know. I know because I said Canadian geese one too many times and somebody corrected me.
Exactly. Hey, Catherine's watching.
Do they call them Canada goose in Canada? Or they just call them gooses?
I don't know. We'll have to ask a Canadian. Ask Ian. I don't know.
So, all right. Enough chit-chat.
Enough chit chat?
Your turn.
I feel like we're on an international call with a delay.
Are we?
Delay. Yeah, that's what it's. I don't know. Some days I think we mesh better than others, and then some days it's like, what's happening here? Oh, I did it again. I need a manicurist. You know what? I can't. I have to do. I'm just right-handed. All right. Any rate, so here it is. Friday morning. What time is it?
Well, you know what? That's because you were chewing on nails yesterday. Were you chewing on nails this morning too?
I don't know. You tell me.
I didn't like it, but I was too. So we clashed a little bit this morning, I think. I wasn't awake. I'm awake now. I wasn't awake.
I don't know. So, you got any funny stories? You want to start talking about some lexicon? What do you want to do? Is that a rattle?
It's my baby rattle.
Somebody was asking, they wanted you to tell a joke, didn't they? We're not here to tell jokes. Jonathan says, why is it called a manicure when a woman gets it most of the time and a woman? That's not true. Maybe where you are, but I know plenty of men who get them, and I know men who, where I go, there's quite a few men that work there.
Only reason I don't get them is because I've always had blue collar trade type jobs and my fingernails get destroyed.
Well, when I'm performing a lot, I get them done, but when not, I do them myself.
I put fingernail polish on one time and I didn't take it off before I went to work when I was working in the garage. And I was washing a carburetor in the parts washer and it melted all the polish, so it looked like blood coming out of my fingertips. It was horrible. So then I learned fingernail polish does not work well in parts washer.
Hey, you know what? I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off. We should play a game of Stump the Comedians. See if other people might have some terms that we may or may not know. I'll see if you know some. Put you on the spot, or you can do it. Because I think it's amazing to me that comedians actually do have their own language, and I just assume that everybody knows what they're talking about. And then somebody will say, well, what the heck's that mean?
Well, interesting. I find that it's just like truck driving. Talking on the CB, truckers have their own CB language, like chicken truck, speaking of foul. You say chicken truck, and people would probably think either there's a truck that looks like a chicken going down the road or a truck hauling a load of chickens. It doesn't mean either one. It just means a truck that's all decked out with the 1,000 pounds of extra chrome and enough lights to light up China. Looks like Las Vegas going down the road, and it can go over 100 miles an hour, triple-digit truck. It's a chicken truck.
Yeah, I would think it would be hauling chickens. That's what I would think.
Yeah, I think it started out that way, but I got a lot of tickets and had to stop doing that.
What about?
I have a funny story. While I was sleeping, my girlfriend painted my toenails bright fluorescent red and told me if I tried removing the polish, it would burn my toes. Okay.
Okay.
It does see more, but I don't see more. I just see the word more.
Hey, Perry, I need to come see you, my dear. I need some more dresses. You have no idea what that means to you, Jareth. Perry just popped on.
Sorry, I was trying to find the rest of Jonathan's note, but on Facebook, it's even shorter than the one on the screen that says "see more." So.
All right, so let me try and stump you a little bit, Jareth. I know you're smart, so I probably can't. What's I mean, I know you know, but when somebody says blue humor, what's blue humor?
It's when you hold your breath until your face turns blue, and then people start to laugh really loud.
Just the lips turn blue, or everything?
Is this a family channel?
It's whatever you
So I was
want
going
it
to
to
say
be.
something.
It's daytime though, so somebody might have some little munchkins.
Generally speaking, blue material is jokes using graphic sexual language, sexual innuendo. Well, not innuendo so much, more like specific scatological references and cuss words. Do I have to define scatological? Anybody? Anybody?
Nope, it sounded pretty clear. Dirty jokes are blue jokes.
Like when I was talking about all that bear scat we found in the field. I got one for you.
Okay.
This is a specific to Jerry Corley, and I really, really like it. Now I'm going to screw it up because I have to remember what it was I was going to say. He says there's the setup and the punchline.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And Jerry says, is it Jerry? He says straight line punchline. He says he likes that better than the setup because the first line of the joke is supposed to be the straight line. It's going to be the truth. It's going to be based in truth or believable or make people think it's a true story. The first line of the joke is going to be the straight line.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the punchline, which is supposed to defeat, cut, whatever. I'm having trouble with words.
Take two.
We're talking about words. I'm trouble with words.
Take two.
And the punchline is supposed to be like the opposite of the straight line. The opposite is not the word I wanted to use. Incongruity. Incongruitous.
Yes. Was that a question or a statement?
What? You talking to me or Jonathan?
No, you, Jareth.
That was a definition.
Oh.
Did you get it? I was having a little trouble with my words, I know.
Yeah, I was having
a
a hard time following that. I needed a map, I think. But basically, you're saying that a setup is a straight line. Setup and straight line are very similar based on truth. Punchline is the misdirect, the redirect.
Same thing. Jerry just says that straight line is a better way to put it because that's what the setup is, the straight line. So he calls it the straight line, which I like. I'm going to adopt that. I'm going to stop pushing that on people.
Okay, so take this. You have a setup or a straight line. And then you have a punch line, which I think most people understand punch or punchline. But what about a tag? The heck's a tag besides what's sticking out of the back of your shirt?
Oh, I don't have any of those. I cut them off. It's like another punch on the joke. It's a punch after the punch. It's an additional punch.
So yeah, 1, 2, punch.
Easy. You're punching your microphone.
You don't like it when I test that microphone? I think somebody did it yesterday. All right, so then is a setup and a premise the same thing, or is that different?
Depends who you ask.
I'm asking you.
The setup is the start of a joke. It's where you give your straight line and you set people's anticipation for. You give people the chance to form a story in their mind. And then when you tell a punch, you change that story in their mind.
So then what's a premise? So
premise is the whole story. Like we were talking about jokes about working at Home Depot. The break room has a TV going all the time. That's the premise. And then I tell the joke about the break room, TV going all the time. And it has the straight line and then the punchline.
For example, can you give us a real life example? Told you I was putting you on the spot.
Excuse me. So the TV is always on the break room at Home Depot. In the past week, I've probably watched more TV than I have in the previous 40 years. Bonanza, Gunsmoke, Duets, Beverly Hillbillies, Green Acres. Same crap I was watching before. Is it any wonder I stopped watching TV 40 years ago? But because at the Home Depot, it's all in Spanish. So all the Cartwright boys live together. I guess they don't like women. And Matt Dillon, he still hasn't gotten shot, so he's like the second coming. Samantha, of course, still looks beautiful. She hasn't aged a day. God, I wish I looked that beautiful when I was her age. What is she, probably 90 now? And Green Acres is the place to be because green pastures sure as hell are not at the Home Depot. But last night I had a dream. It's like the 60s came to the new millennium. I saw Matt Dillon on a date with little Joe Cartwright. The first Darren and the second Darren got married. And Samantha's living in Beverly Hills next to Gladys Kravis, who was on a horse telling Festus, I can't even say it, telling Festus to get the hell off my damn lawn, you cowboy. I don't know what all that means, but I'm telling you, I'm going to start taking my breaks in the parking lot.
All right, so let's break it down. So your premise was the TV in the break room at the Home Depot. Is that right?
Yes.
The setup was about the old TV shows that were on it?
Yeah.
And then
actually,
break down
the setup,
the punchline versus the tag in that.
The setup is break room, Home Depot, TV, black and white TV. That's all of that is the setup. That's the first sentence. And then it has, I think, this isn't really a very good joke, so I probably shouldn't even be using this because this still needs work, but it's a start. So I talk about Beverly Hillbillies being the same old crap I watched before. So I would say same old crap I was watching before is a punch. And then is it a surprise I stopped watching? That's a tag. Jonathan's saying, no. Wait a minute, let me see what, I can't read. He's talking too fast.
All right, well, let me try another quick one and see if we can break that one apart.
Go.
Like, okay, let me think of something real quick. I should think of something real quick. All right, I had a job working at 911. I was a 911 operator. So I was like, and then we had some crazy calls. 911, what's your emergency? There's a cow running through my yard. I was like, ma'am, there's a cow? Did you say there's a cow running through my yard? Yeah, there's a cow running through my yard. Okay, but is it causing any damage? Is it hurting anybody? No. Okay, ma'am, that is a derogatory comment and only her husband can call her that. When it jumps over the moon, call back. So in that sense, the setup was working as 911 operator, right? Or the premise was me as a 911 operator. The setup was I took a call. A lady said there was a cow. Punchline was only her husband can call her that. Tag was when it jumps over the moon, call back. Right? Bing, bing, bing.
I agree with that.
Jonathan
said
the moving violation. I should have said that. That would have got me good and fired. All right, so we talked about premise setup. How are we doing on time? 10:18. I'm sorry, everybody. I have to leave at 10:30. I don't mean to be about watching the clock today. How about LPM, laughs per minute? What the heck is that?
I don't know. It doesn't exist in my humor. How many times a person laughs in a minute? So after we get done, I'm going to play this back and count them. I think we're doing about one laugh a minute here.
You want me to laugh some more?
If you include our own laughs.
Yeah, exactly. But laughs per minute is a gauge that can be used, and exactly, even though Jareth was just talking about play it back, but that's ideally why every single time a comic performs, you should tape it. And then you go back and you review it, just like the football tapes after a game. And you should have a certain number of laughs per minute. I mean, I think there's different schools of thought. I've heard 5 or 6 or 3, or I don't know what the number is, but you certainly need a good couple every minute. You got to keep them laughing. So if your setup is too long and you're going on 3 minutes and you still haven't had a laugh, then you really need to rework that joke.
Absolutely. I've been told the rule of thumb is every 10 to 20 seconds. You go more than 20 seconds without a laugh, you need to do something different.
So then you've got, so 3 to 5 per minute or so, roughly. I mean, if you're using that ballpark.
Yeah.
That's hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you can watch The Pros on Netflix and Kevin Hart and so on. I'm sure you'll see that easily.
Well, I never really noticed it before until I started doing comedy. Now I go back and I watch those guys, and it's like, yeah, not always a really hard laugh. Sometimes it'll just be a little snicker, or something, or a clap. But usually it's not more than 20 seconds that somebody laughs in almost everything I watch now. It's pretty good.
All right, what about, here's another term. I don't hear it too much, but black humor. Does that have to do with race, or is that something else?
That's the same thing as dark humor, which is usually like, all right, I'll give you an example. Joke I wrote I've never used because it's too dark. I saw a guy. I saw a guy with no shoes, and I felt really bad. Then I realized he didn't have any feet, and I was really glad because he doesn't have to buy shoes.
So kind of grim, sort of a.
Not very good, but very dark,
Yeah.
or black.
So blue is more dirty and sexual innuendos typically, or cussing. Black is more, oh dear Lord, did you just say that?
What was the other one I heard? Bill Cosby says, "Is Bruce Jenner a girl yet?" I don't know if that's really dark. That's just kind of anti-PC. That would be, would that be blue?
I just think it's nothing yet. I mean, I don't know.
It's too old now.
Yeah.
It's too old now. It's not even half the people won't even know what I'm talking about.
Here, okay, how about what's a callback? And I don't mean I called you and you went to the grocery store, so you called me back. What's a callback?
I love callbacks. Callbacks are probably my very most favorite thing in comedy that other people do. And I'm learning it. I've got a couple of jokes with a couple of callbacks, and I'm really proud of myself that I finally got one in a joke, because I never thought I could do it. I've always had trouble doing that. And basically, callback is, the way I look at it anyway, I don't know if this is a textbook definition, but I tell a joke about Home Depot, and then I tell a joke about driving trucks, and then I tell a joke about being a mechanic, and then I end with a tag about Home Depot. Calls back to the first joke, and usually it's included, like if all three of those jokes were about work, I said something about work in all three jokes. So the last thing I say, ideally, is like a tag for all three jokes, but it calls back to the first joke, or it could call back to any joke, but it calls back. It's a tag that calls back to a joke previously in your set.
Yes.
That's my definition.
No, you're right. Or sometimes you can do it from the previous comment. That's pretty talented too. It shows you were paying attention.
I have done that.
That's fun.
I've done that at open mics where someone will say something and I'll get up to do my set, and before I start my set, I'll do a tag to the previous guy's joke.
So that's a callback to what they said. So Jonathan just said a dark joke or black humor is like a Walmart shootings. Clean up aisle 1, clean up aisle 2. Yeah, I think it is a little too soon, darling. But that is a very good example of dark humor.
I think that's funny, but that's probably because when you said too soon, it means that I'm not watching the news, and I'm assuming that just happened. I don't even know that just happened.
Yes.
So I laughed because I didn't know any better.
All right, so here's how are we doing on time? 10:24. Couple more. How about kill and bomb? Those are kind of oxymorons, aren't they?
Absolutely. Kill is when you're doing really, really good. You had a great set. People laughed, and you were a star. You
killed.
And bomb is when you do really, really crappy, like I've been doing with my jokes this morning, and nobody laughs. Then you bomb.
Yeah, but if I'm the only person that you can hear laugh, it's not really a fair audience, because I've heard that a bunch of times. So I don't have the unexpected that the audience would hear.
And you're a comedian, and comedians don't count.
Yeah, I don't count. Plus, I'm a tough nut to get to laugh, so.
Yeah.
All right. Any other words that people say, what the heck does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Assumption.
Oh, isn't that like when I start to tell a joke and you're kind of like, oh, I know where this is going. I know what she's going to say. And then, pew, I mean, you end up redirecting, but the assumption is what the audience starts to formulate in your mind. If you say a certain scene or a certain word, you get the audience to go with you, and then you, to make it funny, is you don't end up going where they're assuming you're going to go.
Exactly.
I got one.
Like if I said, oh, this is too old now, but maybe when the movie Aladdin came out, it's too old to tell about the reference. I don't like explaining jokes, but when Aladdin first came out, I told the joke. Aladdin came out last week. The assumption is the movie Aladdin just came out, and then my punchline is, I didn't even know he was gay.
So there's a good example of an assumption and a misdirect.
So I destroyed your assumption with my misdirect. Yes.
All right.
Unfortunately, I got to write it again with something different. That's why I hate using current event humor. I don't like to have to.
Oh, here's a good one. Talking about 10:26 right now. Run the light. Speaking of time, if somebody is fairly new in the comedy scene, like what's the number one cardinal sin you don't want to do is run the light.
Yeah, if you run the light, you're gonna get that. Like you see in the Bugs Bunny cartoons, they get that big hook and they wrap it around your neck and they pull you off the stage. If you get 5 minutes, you tell jokes for 5 minutes and then you stop. And even if you even if you went too slow or screwed up your joke and it took too long, find a way to end it quick. Because when the light comes on, it tells you your time is up and you got to be done. Keep going because you can screw up everything. Then you'll get other people get up there late. They don't have enough time to finish their sets. And a lot of people say it's better to be too soon than too short, but that's not really true. You want to do 5 minutes, you want to be 5 minutes. Even if you get to 4.5 minutes and you got to improvise, you should do your 5 minutes. Because if you're short, then if everybody's a half a minute short at the end of the night, the whole show is short. The host expects you to do 5 minutes, you should do 5 minutes. Give or take. Obviously,
there's a teeny tiny little bit of give, but not much. I mean, though would always err on the side of caution and go under, because if you're coming in under, you can always grab the mic stand, you can pull it up. The host knows that you're wrapping it up at that point, and then it's the host's responsibility to fill in if there's time. But what I see new comics do all the time, if they're giving 3-5 minutes, whatever, they practice, and it's like, how long is your set? Like 5 minutes. Like, no, honey, you got to build in time for laughs. You have to build in time for ad libs. If you are practicing at 5 minutes, not on stage, chances are you're going to go over.
And I say you should practice your pauses, because that I've learned is one of the most important parts of comedy is pausing. Don't step, speaking of words, step on. Don't step on your punch. Stepping on your punch means that you say your punch, people laugh, but you keep on talking and start your next joke before they have a chance to laugh. And that ruins your next joke, because now people are thinking about your first joke and they want to laugh, but you race through their laughter and started your second joke. They're not paying attention. They're not going to get the next joke. So that means that's called stepping on your punch. And then if you do that, then the audience learns to not laugh at the end of your next joke because they don't want to miss the joke after that. So then by not pausing and stepping on your punch, you're going to ruin your whole set. And I've learned it's nothing more important than pausing. And when I practice like at open mics now, I try to pause, and it's really hard to do. You got a quiet room. You got 5 comedians. They're not paying any attention, and they're not laughing. And it's a dead room, and you tell a joke, and then you pause. And it's like you're pausing in front of total silence. And you just feel like you just want so bad to jump to the next joke so there's no dead air. Like if you're on a radio show, you don't want dead air. You want to always have something going on.
But even if you're not pausing for the laugh, you're pausing for them to register what you just said. And it can be more effective sometimes. Absolutely. Silence can be very funny. If you just shut up and then you just look at people, you're almost telling them, okay, here's where you need to laugh. So pay attention. That was the funny part. Jonathan says, even if you're killing the room, you obey the light. Exactly. There are not a whole lot of rules in comedy, but watching that light and obeying it is kind of a non-negotiable everywhere.
And if you practice your pauses, then then you'll have that worked into your time for your type 5, so you won't run the light.
Oh, here we are, 10:30. I gotta go, you guys. I'm busy. I got people to see. What did you just do? What did you push?
Here, a suck it sandwich. You are a badass. You can do it!
I am a badass. I can do it.
You can do it.
Thank you for joining us this morning. 2 days in a row. I'm not getting a manicure today, Jonathan. I'm stuck doing it myself today.
This is not a drill.
This is not a drill.
This is not a drill.
Well, it was a pleasure seeing you 2 days in a row. Are we going to do this again Sunday night in our secret club? That's the old cover.
Oh.
I heard that author reissued that book with a fun cover. Hey, look at that chick with short hair.
Look at this cute chick with short hair. She's freaking cute.
She's cute.
I like that.
That was like,
I like that.
2 years ago when that photo was taken.
Wow.
Now I have long hair. Long hair.
Boy, I wish my hair would grow like that. Damn.
Good vitamins.
All right.
All right. Well, have a lovely day. I'll touch base with you later. All those of you watching on the replay, make sure you subscribe to YouTube and put some comments in the box of some other terms that you may have heard or that you want us to explain. And Jareth is telling you where to subscribe. All right. Have a lovely Friday, everybody. Try and behave. Don't get arrested.
Have fun.